Greetings. I'm Evan Swenson. I'm an author and a book publisher. I'm also a member of Author Masterminds, sponsors of Readers and Writers Book Club. Welcome to Readers and Writers Book Club. This is the worldwide online general membership meeting of Readers and Writers Book Club, rapidly becoming the book club destination for all readers of good books. Thanks for being here. Today's membership is represented online by Author Mastermind members and other book club members participating on Facebook Live. I hope you'll find every reader is a friend and every author is approachable. Once again, welcome to Readers and Writers Book Club. Of course, we'll be conversing about books, authors, writing, and the magic and miracle of reading. We'll also discuss the fun of reading competition when we talk about Readers and Writers Book Club's Battle of the Books. And we'll have some fun as we award Readers and Writers Book Club branded door prizes available to all book club members. Okay, let's meet today's co-hosts. Do meet today's co-hosts. We're going to be talking with Valerie Winans, Marianne Paul, Steve Levi, all members of Author Masterminds, and also members of Readers and Writers Book Club. Good afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are.
Hello.
Valerie, Marianne, and Steve, I'm going to just say, take it from there.
Well, you know, one of the things that's happening this year all across the country is we're having a hard time with students actually getting into classrooms. But one of the things that has not changed is the Battle of the Books. And all across the country, here in Alaska and all across the country, we are still having students that are going ahead and reading the selected books for Battle of the Books. And they're reading it at home. You can read anywhere. And what we do here at Readers and Writers, we also have a Battle of the Books, and it's a fantastic way to go ahead and read books of authors who are actually alive, and the spread of books is phenomenal. One of my favorite authors that I can only read in the morning is Marianne Paul. Marianne Paul writes horror, and I hate to say this, on my books, I don't kill people. I rob banks and things like that, but every time I start talking about killing somebody, I get very, very nervous, even if I'm reading about it. So when it comes to Marianne's work, she's a fantastic writer, but only read her in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Steve. Thanks. I want you to know that many of our esteemed Author Masterminds members actually do write and have murder mysteries. Oh my gosh. I know. And you are the one that doesn't do that, and I'm so proud of you. Yes. And Valerie writes about wonderful little dog stories. So I'm just excited to be here. And Steve, you'll be so excited because I'm going to have another book coming out in a few months. So, and I'll send it to you.
Let's talk about Readers and Writers Book Club Battle of the Books, which we're going to have. That'll be coming up. We had one earlier in the year. We're going to have another one, and the opportunity to have some reading competition and some free prizes and some excitement and fun. I'm looking forward to that.
I am too.
I think one of the most important things about Readers and Writers, and this is extremely important to you if you are a reader, is the spread of stories that are available. Mm-hmm. You go to a bookstore and you go to the mystery section, and unfortunately it's all murders, and I don't do murders. But Readers and Writers, what happens is you have 18 people that are submitting short stories, about 2 a month. So what happens is the spread of subjects you've got is phenomenal. And what happens is you can pop them open and you can start reading a story. And if you don't like it, you can go on to another one, and it only cost you your $3 a month. Right. And that is the best deal out there. And probably the most important thing to keep in mind is we writers are doing this for ourselves. We're not doing this because a publisher says, no, I think that you should be writing a book story about such and such. We sit down, we decide that we want to write this story for whatever reason it is, and we sit down there and we write it, and then we upload it. So what happens is you're not being forced to read a short story that some publisher thinks would be a good idea for you to write a story on. You're writing a story on something that the authors say, hey, you know, I've never tried that. Let me try this. Like as an example, one of my wife's favorite stories is my story where they're using an octopus to steal a gold ring. I have never ever heard of a crime involving an octopus where the octopus was a participant.
I remember that story, Steve. I remember. I learned a lot about octopus or octopi or whatever they are.
Yes. And you brought up, yeah, we did. And what you brought up was something very important too, that on the Readers and Writers Book Club, when you're a member of the book club itself, not of the Facebook page, there every day, every other day, isn't that right, Evan? There's a new story posted, new short story by an author.
A new short story.
Yes.
Valerie, I go talk toward the top of you. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Not only do we have those news stories, but we have really a library of short stories where you can go to the Reader and Writers Book Club site, the actual website, and you can look at an author, and if you like the way that author writes, for example, if you're into octopi, you can go to Stephen Levi's, where it says Stephen Levi, and then there'll be a listing of many short stories that he's written that are really we tease him now about his octopus, but really great short stories. And so there are a number of different authors and author masterminds. And so, as Stephen said, it's an eclectic choice of stories. So you can read one and go back whenever you have time to read another one.
Yep, and I just picked up Rich Ritter's Heart of Abigail, which I had been reading and got sidetracked. I love this. You know, he is really an amazing writer, and I'm so enjoying. I'm not usually historical Western fiction, but he's doing, this is the Juno old days. Oh my gosh, this is really, really good. And that's
I love that book as well.
Authors. Oh, I know. It's just one of the many authors that we have that really write in such different genres. I mean, look at Victoria Hardesty, you know, and what she writes, and James, I can't pronounce James's last name, the kick, but anyway. I
think that's the closest I've ever heard someone say James' last name other than James.
Yeah, right. I just can't do it.
QE. How do you say QE? QE.
QE, and he does it with a clicking thing. I can't do that click thing. But anyway, I was so excited to be reading, because I've read Carlick Bones, I've read several of our authors, and literally, I don't even need to go anywhere else right now to read. Because if I want a different genre, I read, and we have them all, almost all of them, the good ones. Mm-hmm. You know?
I'm curious. You three are actually charter members of Readers and Writers Book Club by virtue of your membership in Author Masterminds. Author Masterminds is the sponsor of Readers and Writers Book Club. And so you were grandfathered in, or just slipped in, or snuck in under the wire,
snuck in, yeah.
Whatever, but you're there, and you didn't pay to get there. And so you may, because you didn't pay, maybe that you have a different slant or idea on the club, that someone that is out there, maybe hearing this recording of our meeting. And so the question that I have, that I'm curious about, is that what are the advantages in your mind of a person that would come and say, I want to be a member of Readers and Writers Book Club because? Tell me some of those becauses that would encourage someone to say, I'm willing to pay $3 a month for this. It's worth it. What is the because?
Oh, that's easy. I go down to the bookstore and when I go down to the library, I wander through the library, and I'll come out with about 6 different books, and I'll sit down and I'll start reading the books, and I don't like any of them. And now I have wasted about 4 hours of my time going to the library and wandering through, picking up books, driving across town, and now I've got a bunch of books that I have to take back to the library that I'm never going to read. Readers and Writers, what happens is you jump on, you start going through the short stories, and if you don't like the short story, you just hang up on it and go to someone else. It's a tremendous time saver, number one. And secondly, it's only $3 a month, and you've got probably, well, I think we've got well over 100 short stories that are there, so that if you want to read something different, it doesn't cost you anything, and all it costs you is about the amount of time that you spend to read the first little bit to see if you're really interested in this short story.
Okay, so there's one, Steve. That's one because, and that is because there's every other day there's a new free short story for Readers and Writers Book Club members. That's one because. So what's another because?
Well,
Go ahead, Marianne.
well, go ahead, Valerie.
I was just going to say, for me, I have read many different genres since I've been a member of Readers and Writers Book Club that I might not have otherwise picked up, but I got intrigued by the writer. For example, Marianne Pohl is a good example. If I had gone into a bookstore or a library and seen Raven's Cove, I never would have picked that up. But I got to know Marianne and I thought, gosh, she's a nice lady. How bad could her books be? And so I picked up Raven's Cove, and lo and behold, I find that I am an iconoclast lover. It's a well-written book, a great story, and I'm going to read them all. There's 4 of them, and I'm headed into the second one because I enjoyed the first one so much that I never would have picked up, but I got to know Marianne. So I'm hoping that other people can join Readers and Writers and get to know us authors a little bit, even if it's only on these monthly meetings or on Facebook or, however, you'll get to know us a little bit. And then you'll think, well, maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try a story about an octopus or a vanishing Greyhound bus off the Golden Gate Bridge. Who ever heard of that? I mean,
Right.
really.
So that, Valerie, thank you. So that's number 2, because you get to know the author personally. Because here, every author is approachable. Okay, so that's 2 becauses. What's
that was my
another
because. That was my other because, was getting to know the authors and us getting to know the readers, which I think is really fun. But the other thing is that if I'm not mistaken, you get a special discount on any books you choose to buy through Readers and Writers Book Club, which you cannot get otherwise. So I think it's a pretty good sized discount, Evan. Now you would have to tell me that part because I thought it was 50%.
So I'll have to see if.
So we're a bargain.
Curiosity then is Valerie and Steve, Readers and Writers Book Club, according to Marianne, members of Readers and Writers Book Club get a discount by the virtue of their membership on all books. Now, do you know what that discount is?
I thought it was 50%, but I
think it's 50%, and I think it's not just Author
Right.
Masterminds authors. It's all authors on that are published through publication consultants.
That's correct, I think, yes. And Evan would have to tell us how many authors that is.
Well,
How many books?
1,000 books, let me put it that way. Some authors. And a discount for Readers and Writers Book Club members is, as you say, 50% discount. So for a $3 membership, well, then they have the opportunity to.
You make that back with one book. One book.
So we've got.
We do.
What? The free short stories. Valerie says her because is you could get to know the authors personally. Every author is approachable. And 3, Marianne said you get 50% discount on all books published by publication consultants, which includes all of the Author Mastermind authors.
And I'll give you one more.
Okay, here comes number 4.
One of the most important things for me as a reader is different. I don't want to keep reading the same stuff. This is the problem I had with bookstores. When you went into the bookstore and I go to the mystery section, because I write impossible crime. I don't kill people, but I do write crime. And when I go into a bookstore, in the old days, what happened is I go to the mystery section and it's all murders. Okay, but when you're readers and writers, what happens is you've got 18 different writers and they are all doing something different. So if you're into different, you know, this is definitely the club to be in, because even those of us that sit down and write impossible crimes, every one of them is different. And that is something that's important to me, because I can always get the same by going to the library and just going to the mystery section. But very rarely can you find some place where the short stories and books that are available for you and spread out before you are all different.
Okay,
And not only that, each
that's number 4, because there's the authors are all different. Not only the Author Mastermind members, but other authors that are published by publication consultants are all different. And so you cover all of the genres with quality authors. So there's number 4. Okay, we got another one?
Well, more, I'm just adding on to Steve, and it is that not only are you got all the genres, when you're getting those short stories, they're all different. The same author doesn't write the same type of short story. So literally it can go from memoir to, well, like mine do, to a Raven's Cove, doing a little extra stuff, or, you know, or telling about how you became an author. It's both fiction and nonfiction our authors can write. And so you got a pretty talented group that can do quite a bit for.
That's a little testimonial then of Steve's number 4.
Yes,
because,
that's a testimonial to him, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what's another because?
Well, I like it because, another reason I like it is because I don't have to worry that I'm going to get into a book and then find myself mired deep in filthy language or explicit sex or something that I really don't care to read about. Really good literature doesn't have that in it anyway. And so that's a value from my perspective. And I think it is for a lot of people.
So Valerie, you would call that number 5, the integrity then of the writing of the authors?
Yes.
That grandma and the 12-year-old can read the book and not be insulted, but be challenged. But romance, yeah, there's a lot of romance in those, but when it gets those scenes that we don't like, why they just fade to black and everyone paints their own bedroom picture and goes on, and yeah.
The imagination is much better than garbage written on a page anyway.
Boy, I agree with that one. I really agree with that. Yes. And the other one, there's one more. The Battle of the Books. Only Readers and Writers Book Club members can participate in the Battle of the Books. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
And so that big prize that comes from the Battle of the Books.
6 because.
Yeah. That big prize and all those little prizes that come only come to the Readers and Writers Book Club members.
Did we talk about what the prize is?
Well, last time it was $500.
Yes,
Okay.
it was. Which is a healthy prize, in my opinion.
That'll go
Readers and writers.
part of the rent. So that's 6. So if we do them the math, $3 a month, 6 different becauses. What's that? 50 cents a because?
That's correct. I think there's many more benefits. I just haven't thought of any yet.
Well, one thing you have to, that is important, not so much to the readers, but certainly to the writers, because we all talk among ourselves, is back in the days before the internet, I never talked to another writer. I may know them, I may know who they were, and I may even have read some of their work, but I never talked to them, and we didn't get together. Even though we went to meetings, we weren't there because we were writers. we were there to listen to a lecture or something. And so now with Readers and Writers, particularly with the internet, I am now able to go ahead and talk to other writers. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes in the case of Marianne, it's not, because no matter what she talks about, she just makes it hard for me to sleep at night because she writes horror. But it influences our writing, and I'm writing, including stuff in my short stories and novels I never would have done before because I had never even thought about stuff like that. So, you know, we as writers are growing right along with the readers.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we do. And I will say, I'm going to correct a little bit here. I know it borders on horror, that's true, but it literally is supernatural thriller, not, you know, and supernatural thrillers can have some of those little bitty, nasty, ucky horror aspects that a lot of people actually like.
Throw in number 7 because, and we're doing it right now. And that is that the Readers and Writers members have opportunity that they can participate in the monthly meeting.
Oh, yes.
And participate in the prizes, and we'll bring that up right now. The prizes, I guess, could be number 8, and that is offline. Our good friend Jen is having a drawing, and she'll be awarding the prizes, and we'll be showing that on the Facebook group page of who won the prizes, a T-shirt, and I don't know what else she's got out there, but anyway, there will be some prizes, and so that's another reason. So 7 then is being able to participate in the meeting. And when I say that, we invite any book club member to come on with the Zoom meeting here and join us and talk directly with the authors.
And that should be number 8. If you're reading and you really like something or you don't like something, we're here. So this is not like go to the bookstore and you get a book and you want to say, gee, that was a good book. You can't reach the writer because you got to go through the publisher, maybe, and maybe the writer will get the letter or not. But here, what happens is you don't like one of my books, you like one of my books, I'm there, I'm available, and I'm also available online if you suddenly decide you want to talk to me. Just let me know and we'll set it up. And that is something that Readers and Writers offers the readers that no one else in the industry is doing.
Okay, that was that's good, Steve. That wasn't number 8. That was number 9.
Okay.
Okay, and so let's kind of add to that one a little bit. I'm really glad you brought that up, Steve, because last month we had a conversation with Steve Levi, where some of your readers joined us, and we talked to Steve, and they got the chance to ask Steve questions, and we can do that anytime. Doesn't have to be a big group, just 3 or 4 or 2 or 1 member of the book club could say, I want to have a conversation with Marianne Paul or Valerie Winans. I'd like to have a conversation with her. We'll just set it up.
I would love to do that with readers. I know Val would too.
Oh, yes.
You know, and I know Steve was probably a lot of fun. I missed that meeting. I was sick.
So there's that. I guess we're at 9.
James said something, wrote a little blurb here about the meeting that I thought y'all might want to hear. Do you?
Yes, please.
It's really, really clever because James is. So it says, I know Marianne Paul is working hard to make this happen. And on the other hand, Carl Douglas is praying fervently to see us live. I am sure Evan Swinson is panicking as if it is the first flight to Africa. Steve Levi must be patiently waiting for the possible arrival of the author masterminds. It could be possible that T. Martin O'Neill is reading a book, hoping to get the news from Robin Bearfield that we are here. I wonder what could Mary Flint be thinking as an expert in technical support and engineer. And don't even mention Bob Algieri. He could be finishing up his 100th poem.
Who wrote that?
That was James Kiki, you know. Yeah,
Really?
and yes, he wrote that a few minutes ago, and I just found it and laughed because that, in a nutshell, is the talent of some of our people. You know, I just
That's our South African author.
that is, and he is astounding.
New voice of Africa.
He really is.
Yeah.
He
It's
is.
spontaneous writing at its best.
It really is. He is so good.
That was worth the price of admission.
It really was, wasn't it?
Well, even more important than that is he's in tomorrow.
What?
He's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Early.
He
Yes.
is. So what happens is, you know, talk about time travel. He is tomorrow.
Okay.
He's in
That's
Africa.
right.
In Africa, it's pretty close to 3 o'clock here, so it's got to be like 2 in the morning for him.
That's 11
So
hours.
he is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, he got up early to be here.
He did. He is such a. Anyway,
I think we could could say that's number 10 reason, is to just have somebody like James entertain us. That was wonderful.
it was. And this whole, you know, everybody, Stephen, you always make me laugh, Steve. You know you do. And Val too. And I mean, everybody in this group just are down to earth and fun and enjoy what they do. And it's a real great time for me.
I
be
find
with
that
everybody.
with the readers as well.
Oh, I love the readers. They're so
Readers and
fun.
Writers Book Club, and the readers start off where every reader is a friend.
Absolutely.
You know, we monitor the posts so that they stay friendly. That's one of the group rules. But they do just stay friendly.
Mhm.
Readers, it's amazing how the readership that we've attracted to the Readers and Writers Book Club really do follow that they are friends. Yeah. So anyway, I guess what we should do then before we close today is to let everyone know that we were not able to do the meeting live, that we had some technical difficulties. We think maybe it was with the Zoom, it looks like it, but maybe it was Facebook, and maybe it was just our inexperience. I don't know, but we've been there, done that before, and it worked, but it didn't this time. And so we'll now I've recorded it, and it will be placed up on the Facebook group and other places. Our Readers and Writers YouTube. I started, my mind went blank there for a minute. Readers and Writers YouTube channel. Could that be number 11?
Oh, yes, it can.
YouTube,
That's
because
right.
there's a ton of video over there,
Mhm.
book trailers and our meetings and other things. Even Steve Levi, you'd never imagine him being a poet.
Oh, but he is.
Yes.
He really is.
I have.
When you think of Steve Levi, you think of the 3 Ps. I love alliteration. Prose, poetry, and puns.
Yes. That's true.
Master of all 3.
Oh, that was good, Val.
A proficient prose, poetry, pun
Okay.
pontificator.
All right.
Yeah.
But Evan, shouldn't we tell the people when our next general meeting is going to be? It's normally the last Tuesday of the month, and in September there will be another one the last Tuesday of the month, right?
That is correct. And so the August meeting is this meeting here. It's recorded on August the 32nd.
That's right. So we're still in August.
Anyway, hey, thanks so much for being here and having a good time with us and talking about Readers and Writers Book Club. I guess as far as the membership is concerned, we'll see you on the Facebook Live group or on the Facebook group, and a month from now, Readers and Writers Book Club monthly worldwide meeting. Thanks again. And in the meantime, though, keep in touch.